Are you thinking of moving to Niagara Falls, New York? If you are, you've come to the right place. So in this video, we're going to take a look at Niagara Falls on the map. We'll look at some of the key features of Niagara Falls, including Niagara Falls itself. What do you say we get started? If this is your first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about Niagara Falls, subscribe below and don't forget to tap that bell for instant notifications so you'll be the first to know when a new video comes out. I'm Bruce Andrews, the real estate guy, and I love helping people just like you make your move to Niagara Falls, New York. Whether it's in 1 week or 8 weeks, feel free to reach out. Use my contact information down below, and I'll help you make a smooth move to Niagara Falls. Let's go to our map. So here's an aerial view of Niagara Falls. You'll see that Niagara Falls is located in the far west end of New York State. It's about, I'd say about 15 to 20 miles north of Buffalo, New York, which is the big major city in our area. And if you continue to go north, Lewiston, New York is just about 7 miles north of Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is divided up into basically 5 neighborhoods. It's landlocked by water on both sides, on the west side and the south side. So basically, there's really only a few ways to get in and out of Niagara Falls. One of the most common ways to get in is to come into the New York State Thruway, which is right here outlined in green. If you're coming from down here and heading up, that's from Buffalo towards Niagara Falls heading north. This is the New York State I-190, the New York State Thruway. It runs up through Niagara Falls, heading up towards Lewiston, and it actually dead ends right at the Lewiston-Queenston Bridge, where you can cross the bridge to Canada. You can see this yellow marker I've got over here. This yellow line is actually the border between the US and Canada. Anything to the left of that yellow is Canada, and anything to the right is the United States. And you see this, I've got a little marker here. We can see where the 407 takes you up towards Toronto, which is about an hour, as I say, about an hour and 15 minutes away, depending on where you go in Toronto. So getting back to our neighborhoods, we have 5 essential neighborhoods. The first right here is the DeVeaux section of Niagara Falls. DeVeaux is kind of unique because it actually has 2 sides to it. You can see I've got this little green marker here. Let me point that out for you. This line right here, that divides DeVeaux into the west side and to the east side. The west side is a little more expensive. You'll find homes in the price range of anywhere from $250,000 to $450,000. They're bigger homes. They're more historic. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And then if you're on the right side of Lewiston Road here, this is the DeVeaux section. The homes over there are typically anywhere from $150,000 to $220,000, and square foot wise, I would say probably on average 1,500 to 1,800 square foot for most of the homes over there. Again, they probably sell in the range of $150,000 to $220,000. So below DeVeaux, the next neighborhood is the north end. This is typically probably the older section of the city. There's a lot of older homes in this area. Well, just one more point. Let me go back to DeVeaux. There's a street called College Avenue here that divides DeVeaux in half as well. And on the west side over here, the west side College Avenue, that's where the most expensive homes in Niagara Falls are located. I just want to make that point. All right, back to the north end. So the north end's typically older homes, and the price range in the north end run anywhere from, say, $45,000 on the low side to, say, $150,000 on the average upper side. The homes are mostly 2-story homes. They're mostly 1,300 square feet to 1,600 square feet. There are some ranches here and there. But it's an affordable area, affordable neighborhood. And then if we continue down towards the south, you run into the south end. And the south end is unique because it's very, very, very close to the actual falls itself. Let me just go here. And we'll change this color to blue. So this is actually the falls right here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to. This is actually the falls right here. That's the American and the Horseshoe Falls. So the south end down here, the south end, there are some residential homes in there. Most of them, or quite a few of them, are actually 2- and 3-family homes. And this is the Airbnb or bed and breakfast area. You'll also find several of the hotels and motels down in this area. Home-wise, prices anywhere from $200,000 to $450,000, depending on how many units are in there. So our next area is going to be east of Hyde Park, which is right here. This is east of Hyde Park. East of Hyde Park is close to the Hyde Park golf course. There's also it's fairly close to the baseball diamond. Niagara Falls has a AAA baseball diamond field. Over the years, we've had different farm teams that played out of Niagara Falls. We also have a golf course in the east of Hyde Park area, which is there's actually an 18-hole course and two 9-hole courses, which is really nice. So there's not much waiting when you want to play golf at Hyde Park. The homes in the Hyde Park range from Hyde Park area range from anywhere from, I'd say, a low of 120 to as high as, depending on how close you are to the golf course. There are actually some homes out there that sold for $350 and maybe even one at $400, which is, it's on the high side for that area. But at any rate, that's the east of Hyde Park area. Then our next neighborhood is over here. I'm just going to make a line here. This is the LaSalle area of Niagara Falls. LaSalle has mostly Cape Cods. There are several ranches, and there are some two-story homes in there, but most of them are capes and ranches. And it's an affordable area. They range from anywhere from $120,000 to $250,000. And the home size is typically, I'd say, anywhere from 1,100 to 1,500 square feet. There are some 1,800, 2,000 square foot homes there as well. So there's one little spot here that I want to point out. Let me just change my color here to green so you can see. So there's one little spot down here. Let me do this. This area right here. That's actually an island. That's called Cayuga Island. Cayuga Island has a lot of nicer homes. It's mostly because there's so much waterfront available there. If you look down here, this is the upper Niagara River all across here. So they have all these waterfront homes here. And the waterfront homes typically run anywhere from 165 to as much as 520,000. There's another nice little feature here is this is called the Little Niagara River that runs on the other side of Cayuga Island. And there are a lot of waterfront homes in there as well. They're not as expensive as the homes out here. These are typically more expensive because they're larger homes and they have access to the actual open Niagara River. So that explains the neighborhoods. And I'll just quickly touch on the other features that you'll find here. So we have the Niagara Falls International Airport here. The airport is actually a dual function airport for your pilots. It's a Class D airspace, but it's shared by the military on the north side of the road of the airport. This is all military up here, and then this is all civilian on this side. So getting in and out of Niagara Falls, there's this route right here. Let me just highlight this for you. This is Niagara Falls Boulevard coming in like this. It runs all the way into Niagara Falls, just like this. It runs all the way downtown, right down to Whirlpool Street, which takes you over to the falls and the parks over there. The other way in, as we talked about, was the Iowa Nundy coming in from Buffalo. And those are the two primary ways in and out of the airport. So let's go to our next screen. And let's talk about shopping and things to do in Niagara Falls. So I've highlighted some of the storefronts and that are here, but let me just touch on a couple of things first. So over here, we have what's called the Hyde Park Golf Course. I talked about that just a few minutes ago on the previous screen. There's actually 3 courses. One's an 18-hole course, and then there's 2 9-hole courses. The 9-hole courses are on this side of Porter Road, and the 18-hole course is on this side of the road. Really nice golf course. There's lots to do. One of the other things you'll see right here, this is actually Niagara Falls High School. It's a good-sized high school. And then up here again, we see the Niagara Falls International Airport. This is the military side. This is the civilian side. So if you wanted to go shopping Niagara Falls, there's not a whole lot downtown. And there's the Little Italy section of Niagara Falls here, which you can find some shops here and there. But for the most part, if you're going to do some shopping, you're probably going to want to come out here to Military Road. That's right here. This is Military Road. And then this section down here of Niagara Falls Boulevard. Those are the 2 primary shopping areas. And what you'll find on Military Road is you'll find some of your big box stores like Sam's Club, Walmart, Olive Garden, Longhorn Steakhouse, Burger King, McDonald's, Five Guys. There's a Wegmans supermarket. And one of the key features, and probably the anchor, is this one right here. This is the Fashion Outlet Mall. They have over 100 different stores at the Fashion Outlet Mall. If you come down here to Niagara Falls Boulevard, right here, this sector, you'll find some Tim Hortons, Arby's, a Harbor Freight tool shop, Dunkin' Donuts, and a few various other shops and stores. There's some car washes there as well. And there's a lot to do in Niagara Falls. There's a lot of shopping available, but I think what you'll find often is if you can't find it right there on Military Road, a lot of the people leave Niagara Falls and head south towards Buffalo. And there's some big malls in Buffalo. There's a lot more opportunity because obviously Buffalo is a much larger city. So that's where you do your shopping, Niagara Falls. And then on our next map, I just wanted to show you a very unique feature about Niagara Falls. Obviously, we all know what Niagara Falls is known for. Niagara Falls is known for this right here, right? That's the actual falls. It's the Horseshoe Falls here, and then the American Falls over here. So, but one of the interesting features about Niagara Falls is that they generate power using the flow of the Niagara River. And what they've done, and I've drew a couple of things on the map here. So they both the Canadian side over here, this is Canada, this is the US, this is Niagara Falls, Ontario, Niagara Falls, New York. So both countries draw water from the upper Niagara River, which is here. So there's tunnels right here for the American side, and then there's actually a waterway here where they intake water from the upper river. Now, it's terrific that they can use that water to flow down these tubes to spin turbines at the bottom and generate electricity. The problem is Niagara Falls is a tourist town, and people come here from all over the world. They want to see the water going over the falls. And what happens is when both power authorities are drawing water from the upper Niagara River, a lot less water goes over the falls, and it's not as dramatic. So what they've decided to do was they built these reservoirs. If you look up here, you've got this reservoir, that's the Niagara Power Authority, and this is the Sir Reservoir. So what they do is during the evening, after tourist hours, after dark, they'll draw water from the upper river and they'll store it in the reservoirs. And during the day, they'll supplement the water going over the falls, or I'm sorry, more water will go over the falls, but they'll supplement their power generation using water from these reservoirs. So they'll supplement water coming in here. So the interesting thing about the Niagara Falls, New York side is this is a tunnel right here. This tunnel runs all the way underground through the entire city of Niagara Falls. They're the size of 4 school buses. And the tunnels are underground. They run right through Hyde Park. And they dump out what's called the forebay here. This spot right here is where the water comes out. And what they'll do is in the daytime, they'll store water in the reservoir. They'll keep filling up their reservoirs. And then in the evening, that's when they really start drawing water. And then the water goes this way, goes down the tubes and through the turbines and produces the electricity. So I thought you might find that as an interesting fact because Niagara Falls produces mostly electricity for New York City, I believe. So at any rate, you can see it's kind of a unique feature. So the last thing I want to show you is, since we talk about Niagara Falls, and we're mostly about real estate, here's the depiction of all the homes in Niagara Falls that have sold in the last 365 days. So you can see, let me just do this real quick. So we talked about the DeVeaux section of Niagara Falls. These are all homes in DeVeaux that have sold. And then we talked about the north end, and you can see there are quite a few homes in the north end that have sold. And then you'll see just a handful have sold in the south end because, again, there's not as many homes down there. And the homes that are down there are obviously much more expensive. Let me just click on this one. Yeah. 353 Buffalo Avenue sold for $600,000. Riverside Drive, which is a beautiful little side street that runs along the water there, and that sold for $315,000. So that gives you an idea of the values down here. And then we get into the LaSalle section of Niagara Falls, which is, there's quite a few homes in LaSalle. This is LaSalle section here. And I'll just pop up a couple of homes for you so you can see. I live in 62,000, 219, 185, 175. So the price range we had talked about previously were obviously in that range. And then the last little one I want to tell you about was down here on Cayuga Drive. Remember we talked about Cayuga Drive being around the water? Here's Cayuga Drive right here. So there's only a couple homes that have sold in the last year. It's a very stable neighborhood. A lot of people, when they move there, they want to stay. There's a house that sold for $520,000, obviously right on the waterfront. There's another one. Let's see if we can get to the other one. 295, 250. So it gives you a good idea what the houses are selling for. So that ends our. So I saved the best for last. What is probably the coolest thing about living in Niagara Falls? That would have to be Niagara Falls itself. This is a spectacular, one of the wonders of the world. And I think what I'll do is I'll just show you some of the views so you can get an idea of what it would be like living here in Niagara Falls. So here's a shot. That's the American Falls. This is the upper Niagara River. Water comes out to the Niagara River, goes over the American Falls, but it also goes around Goat Island. And it goes over, give me 1 second here. Here it is. It goes over the Horseshoe Falls. This is the Horseshoe Falls right here. They call it the Horseshoe Falls because it's shaped like a horseshoe. And down here, you just on the edge of the screen, you can see what's called the Bridal Veil Falls. That's one of the smaller falls that's right next to, this is the American Falls over here. So let me do this. Let me share just a couple more pictures with you. Okay. And we'll go back here. And let's take a shot here. So here's a picture from the Canadian side of the falls, looking at the American Falls. This is the American Falls here, when we talked about the little Bridal Veil Fall over here. And this right here is the Rainbow Bridge, which takes you into Canada. There's actually 4 bridges in Western New York that take you from the US to Canada. That's the first one, the Rainbow Bridge. Let's get out of there. I'll go another shot for you. And clear that. And let's see. Yeah, that's just another view of the American Falls Rainbow Bridge. You can see a little bit of the Horseshoe Falls in that photo. And let's see what else I can get for you. There's an even clearer view. So a couple features that I want to point out here. When you're down to the falls, actually visiting the falls, this is the Niagara Falls State Park right here. This is the observation tower. The observation tower has a lookout here. You can walk out there and get incredible views of the American Falls and the Horseshoe Falls. And one of the also interesting things that you can do here in Niagara Falls is they have a boat called the Maid of the Mist. The Maid of the Mist docks are right here. They take thousands of people on rides. Actually, the Canadian also has it's not a Maid of the Mist. I can't remember what the boat's called over there. But anyhow, the Maid of the Mist, they load up and they take you up to the falls. And I'll show you where they go to. I'll go back to another picture. And just bear with me here. And so actually, you can see in this picture, you can actually see the Maid of the Mist boats. I'll show 2 of them. Here's one here. Here's another one here. And they take you all the way up, right up to the base of the Horseshoe Falls right here. And boy, you're going to experience the real power of Niagara Falls. You're going to get wet. They give you a rain suit and they try and keep you dry, but trust me, you're going to get a little bit wet. Again, here's another shot of the American Falls. I'm just going to give you a whole bunch of different views here. Let's see, here's a nice one. There's a nice shot. This kind of encompasses everything we talked about. You've got Goat Island here. You've got the Bridal Veil Falls over here. You've got the American Falls. You've got the Horseshoe Falls. And then we talked about the Maid of the Mist boats, and you can actually see them heading upriver. Here's the American Maid of the Mist boat, and here's the Canadian tour boat. And you can see they take you right up to the base of the Horseshoe Falls. And you can see all the mist. They talk about the Maid of the Mist. This is where it comes from, is the force of the water falling over the falls. When it hits down below, it creates a mist that actually rises up into the sky. It's pretty impressive. And let's see what else we can get here for you. A couple more photos before we wrap up. It's just kind of an aerial view. You can see the observation tower and the Rainbow Bridge. So that wraps it up. I hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next one. Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you do me a huge favor and subscribe below, and don't forget to tap that bell so you can get instant notification of any changes in the real estate market here in Niagara Falls. As always, you can use the information down below to contact me. I'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Niagara Falls. See you in the next one.